Hello, I'm Lynn Onstot with the City of Joplin. I welcome you to Joplin Insider. This show is designed to give you kind of a behind-the-scenes look at different things going on at the City of Joplin. Today my guest is Jacque Gage. Jackie's the director for the Joplin Public Library. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. We're glad you're here. Jacque, as the director of the library, you have a lot of hats to wear and probably a lot on your plate right now because you have the existing library and managing all of its programs and services. And then you're also coordinating the building of a new library.
Yes, I am, and it's a fun time.
It's a fun time, fun. That's a good way to explain it. So, well, can you tell our viewers a little bit about why the move is necessary, why we need a new library?
Well, one of the biggest things, one of the biggest issues that we've been fighting for years now has to do with ADA, Americans with Disability Act compliance. Mm-hmm. Our current building was built before ADA was signed into law and was not built to ADA specifications.
Okay.
You know, for instance, for accessibility, the shelving, the units of shelving should be spaced 36 to 42 inches apart. Well, when our building was built and the shelves set, they were set 29 to 30 inches apart, which means that if someone is in a wheelchair, they may or may not even be able to get their chair down the aisle.
Yeah, that would be frustrating.
Very frustrating to some of our people. I actually witnessed a girl who could only choose what is right on the right-hand side or the left-hand side as she nosed her chair into the aisle, and that's all the farther she could get. You know, and of course we're willing to help. You know, someone would fetch whatever she wanted.
Right.
But it's nice to be able to browse.
Yes.
And besides, it is the law for people to have access. And yet at our current location, there's no way, there's not enough space to expand the shelves and have the collection.
You're kind of cramped for space. It's obvious when you go in there.
Well, you know, the building was built and designed over 30 years ago. We've been in it 34 years now.
Wow.
And libraries were a different beast back then. And it just wasn't built for the 21st century library.
And you can't build up?
We had a structural engineer come in and settle the question once and for all.
Okay.
And he said, if you've got enough money, you can do anything.
Right.
But this building was not designed to be able to withstand a second story.
Yeah.
And there's no place to build out either.
That's true. And then there's just space for just general collection stuff. Your collections are growing.
Well, all of our services are growing. So every time we've added another service, we have had to infringe on another space.
Okay.
For instance, you know, 34 years ago, there wasn't such a thing as a computer lab. There were no computers in libraries.
Good point.
So when we added a computer lab, it had to go somewhere. So that infringed on that space. When we made a dedicated young adult teen library area, that had to go somewhere else. So we had to squish everything else together to make room for that area. And so every time we've added something, we've either had to remove seating and tables, or we've had to scrunch everything closer together.
Right. And then there's reference, which I know I use a lot. And I don't know, maybe we could just go through a little bit of each department in the library. Some people may not even have been in the library recently. So you have children, you know, we mentioned the teen area, teen and young adults.
We have a dedicated teen young adult area. It's got their own seating area, it's got their own collection. While everybody is welcome to use the collection, as far as to be able to sit and hang out, we reserve that for teens only, so that they have a special spot for them. We have a children's area, and some improvements we've made in the children's area recently have included becoming a family place library. And Family Place Libraries is a national initiative to where our children's library kind of becomes the center of the community as far as where information and resources can reside. We're one of only 2 nationally recognized sites in the state of Missouri.
Wonderful.
But where we've added some play spaces and some open-ended play areas, because play is a huge part of early literacy.
Yeah.
You know, we've had to move things and take things out for that. So we offer programming from birth through 112.
Right. Yeah, I've seen it. I mean, the periodical section.
We have magazines, we have newspapers, we have music CDs, we have DVDs of nonfiction, documentary type stuff to theatrical theatrical
that's a
releases
popular-
things. That is very popular.
I know, especially on Fridays, if I stop by the library, that place is packed. People are checking out their movies.
They are.
And I've used it. I mean, I like it. I like the audiobook section. That's kind of my favorite right now.
Well, and speaking of that, one of my favorite section has to do with some of the digital download things.
Yes.
You can now download onto your personal device audiobooks. You can download ebooks to read. You can stream video, and we now have digital magazines.
That's
where
awesome.
you just have it on your device and you just swipe to turn the pages. So
And
it's
you don't
wonderful.
don't have to pay that subscription.
You don't have to pay the subscription, and there are no overdue fees on those.
Oh, that's even
Because
better.
when your loan period is up, they just kind of disappear
Disappear.
into never land.
Okay, well that is good to know. So, well, I know in September, we're talking about just services in general, and obviously you need more space. And so in September, the library board of directors and the staff, and I was there, we had a groundbreaking for the new library.
That was a great day.
It was at 20th and Connecticut.
Right.
Well, the address is
1901 East 20th?
That's right. Yeah, I'm glad you remembered it because I couldn't remember it, but I knew it was East 20th. I know where it is. So, but the construction started, and what our viewers are seeing right now is some of the not on screen here, but if they go by that site, they're going to see like the safe room, the meeting rooms being constructed.
Right.
And, yeah.
At the center, on the south side, you'll see a large concrete type room. And we are having a storm shelter built so that if a catastrophe or if bad weather occurs while we're open, people have a safe place to go.
Yeah.
Right now, we do not. We don't have anything even resembling a good place to go. So that's what you'll see there. The other concrete work that you see rising up out of the ground is some firewalls between different sections of the building.
Okay.
And I even noticed some steel work going up the other day.
Swinging steel. Swinging steel. There you go. So what's the timing of the library opening?
It's supposed to open less than a year from now, if you can believe that.
That is exciting.
Spring of 2017.
Yeah. So we
Date
talked
to be determined.
Yeah, I understand that. And designing the library space, what other areas, we've talked about some of these areas, what other areas are you including in the new library?
One of the main ones that we've had and had requests for is meeting areas and study rooms.
Okay.
Right now in today's library, it's not necessarily a quiet place. No longer do librarians have buns and go shh, shh. But yet there are times when having a quiet place to study is very appropriate. But we barely have enough tables and chairs, let alone that was one of the areas that had to be given up when we added some other things. So we will be adding meeting rooms that can be used by community members.
Wonderful.
And we will be adding some study rooms. So our study rooms will hold between 2 and 6 people. You need a quiet place, you can use one of the study rooms. Meeting rooms, we will have rooms that will hold from 10 to 200.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
Yes.
Yeah, so you'll be checking those out. I mean, reserving them, I
You can
guess.
reserve them. You will be able to reserve them. They'll be able to be used by community groups.
Yeah.
So it'll be wonderful because right now we have 2 choices.
Yeah, the big room or the little room.
The big room or the little room, and the big room isn't really all that big.
No, not anymore because
No.
people are coming in there. I don't think people realize how popular the library is. Your numbers, do you know your numbers offhand?
We're approaching 500,000 visitors a year.
Wow, that's incredible. That's a lot of people through
That's a
those
lot of
doors.
folks.
Yeah, so how many staff members do you have?
We have about 29 full-time equivalents, representing about 42 people.
Wow. So, yeah, you are busy building a library, managing people, those kind of things. So, well, let's get into the fun stuff. What's the library going to look like, and how is it going to entice the patrons to explore? And I think we brought some slides today, and I'm not sure in the control room if they have those pulled up, but as we go through them. Well, there's you go ahead.
That's the construction cam picture from just 2 days ago. And you can see that safe room that I mentioned is on the left side of the picture, and the other concrete room is at the right side of the picture. This is something that you can actually tune into every day and see. If you go to the library's website, which is www.joplinpubliclibrary.org, about 2/3 of the way down the page, there's a link that says Camera Link. And you can click on that and see live photos of what's happening that day.
Okay.
And then once a week, they update a time-lapse tape.
Okay.
So once that downloads, in about 8 seconds, you can see what just happened in January up through now in May. So that's kind of fun.
Yeah, that would be fun. So, well, I know we have some other slides, and I don't know if we can pull those back up. I think they were different views of the library. Calling you a hospital. Sorry, yeah, you are a library, not a hospital.
That's what our new entrance is going to look
gorgeous.
like. That's off the north end of the building, and there's this promenade with the soaring canopy that just kind of invites you in.
Yeah, nice, wide walkways, things of that nature. And then the next slide, we'll just kind of go through them.
Okay, view of our parking lot. We will be going from now where we have 67 parking spots for library patrons and staff to around 170 spots.
Oh my gosh, that's almost tripling. Yeah.
That will make parking much more convenient for patrons. And then with that covered drop-off, that'll make it really, really nice.
Book drop?
One of my favorite things, and one thing that I have said I wanted from the get-go, was a drive-through book drop.
Makes sense to me.
I mean, if it's rainy and drizzly, mom with her 3 kids in the back seat is not going to have to park the car, drag all 3 kids out of the car to walk up to the outside of our building to drop things off. You can just drive through and drop them off.
That's right.
And life is good.
That is. Now I know they keep going back because we get on talking on other things. I think there was a shot of the interior. Oh, yes?
These are just some architectural renderings of what it might look like inside the building.
Okay, and that says lobby into the vending area, but we don't know specifically if everything's going to look exactly like this.
We are right now in the choosing of furniture and the placement of shelves and that sort of thing. So this is
kind of Lego building block time, right?
Right, and this is the designer's idea of what it might look like.
What else did we have? Okay.
Oh, now I think this one's an interesting picture if you can hold on to it.
Yeah.
One of the recurring themes since the tornado has been the idea of the butterfly and life renewing and coming back, and yet we didn't want to overuse that symbol.
Right.
And so the designers actually found microphotography of butterfly wings.
Okay.
Like a monarch butterfly wing, and they blew up the pattern in the butterfly wing, and you can see that white along the ceiling. Yeah. That is an actual model taken from microphotography of butterfly wings.
Well, that's very cool, the pattern within their wing.
Right.
That is really
that motif will show into the children's section, in the periodical reading section, and in the lounge area near the vending machines.
So whereas some people who may not be so familiar with the butterfly theme that has been taking place through Joplin may just think it's just a pattern.
They may just go, oh, well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, they won't know.
And yet it is a very subtle homage to the butterfly.
And it's a good story to tell, and
It is not an urban legend.
No,
that is a butterfly.
That is a butterfly. Children's area again, a look at that.
And our children's area is going to be wonderful.
Oh, well, I think it's wonderful now, but again, space is limited.
It's going to be more wonderful.
Yeah. With the computers. The center.
Okay, we're calling the commons or the lobby kind of the center because it's the center of the library. We want the library to be the center of Joplin. We want the library to be the center, the place to go when you need to know.
Right.
And so the center of the center is called the center.
That makes sense. Well, we'll talk about how that tagline works, or how the center works into the tagline, I guess I should say. So, and this is the periodical reading room.
We will have all of our magazines where there's some comfortable seating and some little bit of tables where you can sit, and if you're reading a print magazine, which we still do carry,
right.
You can have a place to sit and read.
Very good, very good. The post-reading room.
The Post-Memorial Art Reference Library is something that's a part of our library that a lot of people don't even know about. It has served as an art reference library for years, but their board of directors has taken their mission statement and is changing it a little bit with the advent of the new building.
Okay.
And to commemorate the Posts, we are having the Post reading room. It will have the portraits of Mr. and Mrs. Post flank either side of a library. I mean, a fireplace.
Oh, nice.
And they will kind of be the artistic line of the library to promote the arts and to promote art programming and art displays.
Wonderful.
So this will be a nice little reading room with its own ambiance.
Yeah, it looks like I'd like to curl up on, on a chair there, and if you can't find me at work, this is
You'll be in
where,
the library.
Yeah, that's right. That's where I'm going to be. The main resource area.
Main resource area is the fancy name for the adult collection.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Got it.
It will have the adult collection. It will have the computer lab. One corner of it will be the teen area.
Okay.
So it's got the main
Multiple.
resources.
Yeah.
So it's the main resource area.
There you go. Makes sense to me.
And that is another view into the main resource area. But if you see the red at the end,
I do.
That's where the teen section is.
Okay. Okay.
They've got their own little corner, but a lot of teen literature is kind of crossover. A lot of adults like to read it.
Right, right.
And teens like to read some adult stuff too. So they've got their own corner, but it's not so separate that
they're feeling isolated, or
right, they're not isolated,
Right.
but it is still theirs, and you'll be able to tell by the decor that it is a special place for teens.
Okay, very nice. And there's the teen space right there, so that we were talking about. So, yeah, red is, it looks like they're doing some architectural, I mean, the colors at least look like they define the areas. Is that what they had intended?
The carpeting they may define areas with different carpeting patterns.
Okay.
Carpeting now is modular, and so you can have, 4 or 5 pieces of carpet that blend together and work together, and yet the way that you arrange them causes a distinct pattern. And so they'll be doing a lot of that to kind of define areas and make an area distinct from another.
I would love to have that job. I love to work puzzles. I think that sounds incredibly fun.
Then I've got some work at my office for you to do.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. And, I think this might be one of our last slides.
This is just an overhead site plan. Obviously, the building is at the right-hand side of that photo, and you can see how much beautiful parking spaces there are. And you can see that it is going to be beautifully landscaped with lots of native plants and some trees, and it will be really nice.
It looks wonderful. Well, I know we talked about the butterfly ceiling. Are there other design elements or other things that you know of that they're including or you're including in the library?
Well, there are just some little things that these designers just think on a different plane. For instance, all of those plantings that you could see on the blueprint there, they're lined up with architectural details inside.
Oh.
I would never think, okay, now this tree goes here because it lines up with some of the outside features, like we're going to have an outside learning commons, and yet the walk that is outside leading into the building mimics what the flooring is like inside and passes through to the other side. How they think of these things, I don't know.
Because they went to school and that's what they do.
But like I said, there's an outdoor learnings commons.
Okay.
So if we want to have an event on the lawn, we can.
Nice.
The learning commons actually expands out to another grassy area, so we can hold different sized events outside.
Okay.
But a day like today, if you want to go outside and read a book, we will have a reading patio for people. So they can take their book outside, sit in a chair, enjoy it, and read.
So are these places all in the same area, like in one corner? Or are they scattered throughout the, do we have different?
Well, for instance, the Learning Commons will lead through the center.
Okay.
And on the other side is the reading garden, the reading patio area.
Nice.
So that's where the walkway just kind of extends from one feature right across into the other feature.
Sounds very nice. Now, we talked a little bit about the parking, that it was limited, your current, and we're going to have 160?
170, I
170
believe.
parking spots. So, everyone, if you're going to the library, don't use the excuse, I couldn't find a place to park.
That's right.
If you're not doing your homework, that. So, well, and I imagine today's technology. Obviously, 34 years ago, that library was built. We're building a new one. Technology's changed. What kind of fun stuff are you adding on that perspective?
One of the most fun things, I know probably floats my boat more than anybody else's, but we're adding what's called automated materials handling. And part of this is to free up some staff time so staff can spend more time with patrons.
Right.
But what this is actually is when you return books, either through the drive-through book drop or an interior book drop, your book will go down a conveyor belt. It will check in automatically. Your security will be turned on automatically, and it will do some rough sorting into areas like, okay, this book is adult fiction, so it will go in this bin. This book is a DVD, it will go in this bin. And it will automatically do a lot of the sorting so that we don't have to have as much hands-on time, free it up, and allow those people to help people face to face.
That's incredible. Now, will the public get to see that at all?
We have windows into that.
You do?
We do.
That's exciting.
It is. When we toured some libraries, the architects were just laughing at us. Well, in fact, you were at one of them and you were laughing at me.
Well, again, I didn't know how library books were checked in. I mean, I didn't realize the whole process, but it makes perfect sense to have that.
And you were laughing because we were enthralled by,
I can see
by
why,
conveyor belts and bins.
After I saw it in motion, it is very neat, and I think the public will enjoy watching it.
I think they will too.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it will be a big help to us.
Yeah, so it's basically like another computer's kind of scanning barcodes or whatever it is on the books. So
right.
Very cool.
And then the other thing, you know, we have implemented some self-check systems, but we're going to be adding some more.
Okay.
But we're going to add some like in the children's section.
Oh.
Again, for the convenience of a mother who has 3 toddlers in tow, instead of having to get 3 toddlers in tow and their stack of library books, drag them up to the front, put everything down while they're keeping track of their 3 kids. While their kids are busy and doing things in the area, mom can use the self-check kiosk, check them out, put them in her book bag, then collect the people and just leave.
That's a great idea, because I've seen, you know, the younger mothers, and I know when I had younger children that, yeah, you don't leave with just, you know, a few books. You leave with a stack because the kids can't make up their mind, and you want them, you know, if they're excited about books, let's take them.
But it's hard enough to wrangle your kids around without having to make multiple stops within the same building.
Right.
So this way, while they're in the children's section, they'll be able to check out.
That's an awesome idea. That is very nice. So another area that I was thinking about is most people seem to like coffee these days. You know, everyone's drinking coffee or some sort of beverage when they're reading, when they're studying. Are you guys, you know, thinking about adding a restaurant or any kind of snack area?
Well, for a long time now, we've actually allowed drinks as long as they have a lid.
Okay.
So we will be making some vending machines available to the patrons. There will be tables and chairs out in this center area where they can enjoy them there, and the drinks they would be able to just take with them as long as they have the lid on there. I'm not going to say we will never ever have a coffee shop because the space is being built with the flexibility that could be a possibility down the road.
That's a neat idea.
But at least to start off with, we'll at least be able to have a place to sit and enjoy your coffee or your soda.
Yeah, that you're accommodating that. You know, because again, sometimes when you're studying, you get a little tired. A little caffeine is not bad at that time. So that's wonderful. So we talked about the children's area, and I know, is there anything specific about it? Because I know right now you have the computers there, you have the play spaces. Is there anything different that you think that's going to be added that you haven't had space for?
We're going to be adding 2 what are being called maker spaces.
Okay.
We will have one in the teen area that is dedicated for teens, and then we will have one that is just off of the center. And a maker space is a place where people can create content instead of use content. You know, you use books, you use audios, you use videos. This is where you can create content. The exact what we're going to have in them isn't ironed down yet. But what we anticipate having, one would be a digital media lab.
Okay.
This is probably more for people of your or my age, where we have boxes of pictures we've just stuffed away and have done nothing with.
You've been looking at my house, haven't you? Yeah.
But we'll have
on my camera that haven't been developed.
Where you can go ahead and scan them and put them in a digital format, save them for posterity, you know, because a lot of my old print things are fading.
Yes, that's true.
You know, I have pictures, I have my VHS tapes from all of my kids' athletic events through middle school and high school and college. I don't know of anybody with a VHS machine. We certainly don't have one.
Right, right.
We'll be able to convert that to a digital format.
Oh my gosh.
So that will be cool.
Are these services going to be free? Is there going to be a small fee to use those, or do you know yet?
The one thing I think there will probably be a small fee for is 3D printing, which is a really new technology, and
Yeah.
I don't claim to have my brain wrapped around it, but that is something that will require materials, and that would be on a cost
Sure.
recovery basis.
Sure.
Things like a scanner, that it's just having the equipment and then having the use of the equipment, no, I would not anticipate any charges for those.
That's wonderful.
But you know, there's, like I said, the 3D printing, there's the digital media. We've had a request to put in a sewing machine.
Oh, that's a
That
neat
one
idea.
surprised me.
That's a neat idea.
Who knows? We might have that. But there's just all kinds of things that are available. Some libraries have instituted places where you could customize buttons for whatever. You know,
Yeah, with buttons are a huge thing. I know that. Yeah, that
you know,
we've-
the equipment for that isn't expensive. But someone who just needs to make a few buttons doesn't really want to go out and buy all the equipment.
Right.
So, you know, there's a possibility of something like
I
that.
have a feeling we're going to see a lot of more buttons in Joplin if we have a button maker at the library. I think that's wonderful. So, well, I know that you mentioned the center, and I don't know, I think we brought the logo, and I'd like to show the public our new logo for the library that'll be debuting once we saw it at the groundbreaking, and the tagline.
The tagline, Joplin Public Library at the center of it all. And like I said, we want to be the center, the place where you can come to find out what you need to know. We're located really near the center of Joplin. And you can see that the new logo has been built to kind of mimic both a combination of the lines of our new building and the bookshelf.
It's very cool. Very, I like it a lot. So, and I think people will begin to recognize that next spring. We'll be really
Even
promoting
without the
that.
words.
I know. I get to work with you in promoting it and getting it open. I'm excited. I'm very excited. We've talked a lot about the new stuff. Now I know really quickly we're getting ready to wrap up, but tell us a little bit about the summer reading program, because we're getting ready, you know, to take a break.
That is going to start within a month.
Yeah, at the end of May, right?
We will start sign-ups on May 31st, the day after Memorial Day. This year's theme is Get Ready, Get Set, Read.
Okay.
We have programs from birth to 112.
Okay.
Might let a 113-year-old in, we'll see. But seriously, we do have a program that's designed specifically for kids, a program designed specifically for teens, and a program designed specifically for adults. And the programs have to do a combination of reading, a combination of activities, and special programs to come and attend and enjoy.
Well, it sounds great. I mean, that's just one program that you guys do throughout the year. I mean,
Yes.
there's a variety of others.
There's always something
We're getting ready to
going on, it
wrap this
seems.
show. We're going to have you come back, but I really appreciate you being here. I encourage people. I don't know if we've put up the logo or the website, joplinpubliclibrary.org. Very easy to find. It's your name, .org.
Or follow us on Facebook.
Facebook as well. That's a great place. So again, we encourage viewers to check the sites out and learn more about the library, and just by browsing, I think they'll see all the resources you have. Plus, they can start getting excited about the new one, so which I am very excited. So, well, this concludes this portion of Joplin Insider. I hope you enjoyed it. We plan to bring you more shows of behind-the-scenes looks at Joplin's departments. This is Lynn Onstot signing off. I hope to see you next time.